Yo, what's up, all you burner stoners and potheads? This is Weedman 420 with the Weedman 420 Chronicles. How are all you vipers doing out there? Mrs. Weedman.
Mr. Weedman.
How the hell are you?
All right.
Hey, all you vipers out there. We're smoking some big fat doinks, and hopefully you are too. And we're getting ready for the show. We're about to get normal, and we are smoking Mac 1, given to me by a new friend we met, Oscar, and Oscar works for a brand here in Illinois called Arise, and this is a hybrid, and Mac 1 is a hybrid Alien Cookies times Colombian Gold times Starfighter, and this one is 30% THC. It's saturated in dazzling trichomes. This robust and visually appealing strain delivers a consistently heavy dose of THC without overpowering senses. A euphoric buzz lifts both body and mind, creating a desirable high that can fit into any routine and satisfy even the most experienced enthusiast. Earthy and piney scents mix with the classic diesel flavor in this versatile strain. The terps, terpity terps, are alpha pinene, beta carotene, beta myrcene, my fave, elamine and limonene. Effects are creative, euphoric, happy, motivating, and relaxing. Hopefully you all get to try this delicious Mac 1 we're about to smoke in, and we're smoking it in something different today. We met some people a while back ago, a husband and wife duo, and we got to see them yesterday, and I'll tell you where we were all at yesterday. And but this is called Relo Wraps, and these are hemp brand dedicated to creating the ultimate smoking experience by providing a healthier alternative to smoking traditional blunts and cannagars. The wraps are all 100% organic hemp derived from America or Europe. Every wrap is double filtered and has a birchwood tip to give you the ultimate luxury experience when enjoying your favorite cannabis. Every wrap is flavorless so you can taste your cannabis the way it is intended, pure and unadulterated. I'd like to thank Chris and his wife. What was his wife's name?
Letitia.
Letitia. Chris and Letitia, thank you so much. Congratulations on starting Relo's Wraps. And
I think it's Relo, like cigarello.
Oh, like cigarello.
Would that be?
Relo
I
Wraps?
don't know. Relo?
Relo. Relos.
Yes.
You can see it over here on our screen if you're watching on YouTube.
Yep.
And this is our first time trying it. This is burning so nicely.
Nice. It's smooth.
Oh, yeah.
Hits nice.
Yeah, and I'm going to let it burn a little bit more like this because I like to see a nice little ash, beautiful looking ash. And I love seeing a husband and wife couple start a company. Just like us, we're seeing more and more in the cannabis industry. We've gotten to meet a ton, and congratulations on anybody out there, husband and wife duo, or if you're single or your partner and you start a company. It's not easy. It's not easy being a husband and wife duo running a company together and starting it from the ground up, guerrilla marketing, one wrap at a time, one trace at a time. You spend all your money on products and you leave yourself flat on marketing. So you have to go out there and hustle and hustle hard. And you have to go out there and do what it takes to make your brand stand out in a very heavy, crowded market. And support family-owned businesses out there. Hold on a second. I want to take a hit.
They're nice. They hit smooth.
Very nice.
Right.
And very nice Arise, too, with this Mac 1. We're super stoked. I think it's a 50-50 from what I read. Indica sativa blend. So Mrs. Weedman will like this because she does like her sativas. So do you notice the filter has a little
flavor
to it too? The wraps are plain, but this filter, I think he was telling me last night, this one's got a little vanilla hint to him. Not all of the tips have flavor. He just gave me one of these. He wanted me to try because he was excited.
I'm on their website trying to find that, but I don't want to be too distracted. But yes, I did taste a little bit of flavor.
It smokes very smooth.
Yeah, pretty sweet.
Nice job, Chris. Appreciate you throwing to the cause, and we love it. And thank you, Oscar from Arise. And I also have a very good friend that works for Arise, and his name is Matt Bentley. And so thank you, Matt Bentley and Oscar, for working for Arise and throwing to the cause. Also, we appreciate you, and we appreciate good flour. It was very nice. It was very fluffy when I grinded it and had a nice smell to it, too, when I was grinding it. So appreciate Arise and Relos for sponsoring the show today, throwing to the cause. We have a good thing we're going to be doing next week. I'm super excited about this. We are going to the first Flower Expo, Illinois 2025. Super stoked. We got media badge, press badges or media badges. We're going to be going there as Mr. and Mrs. Weedman, and we're going to be all decked out in our 8 decades Weedman gear and walking around saying hello to all the people we know in the industry. There's going to be buyers there and dispensaries there and all different brands there. So let me tell you a little bit what this is about. Flower Expo Illinois 2025 is the Windy City premier B2B cannabis networking event taking place March 25th, 2025 at the Sarah Bonde, Chicago. This will be Flower Expo's first event in Illinois, following its debut in Massachusetts in 2023, the expansion to Michigan in 2024. Flower Expo ethos is brands meet buyers, a commitment that reflects the event's dedication to connecting exhibiting brands with a direct audience of dispensary buyers, owners, GMs, and so much more. Additionally, as the cannabis industry frontline workers, bud tenders are welcome at the event as well. The Flower Expo Illinois is poised to record a record bud tender turnout. Like all Flower Expo events, Flower Expo Illinois is also consumption-friendly, allowing attendees to try their favorite products firsthand. A slate of informative speaker panels known as seshes will also take place, along with other features such as coffee bar, food options, music, and so much more. Flower Expo Illinois takes place from 12 p.m. to 10 p.m. on Tuesday, March 25th at Sarah Bonde, located at Chicago's Avondale neighborhood. There are a few ways to attend. If you're a decision maker or a bud tender at a licensed Illinois dispensary, you can apply for free admission. If you're not on the retail side of things but still would like to attend, industry-only general admission tickets are also available for purchase. Either case, learn more and apply for purchase passes at www.theflowerexpo.com/Illinois. I'll read that one more time. www.theflowerexpo.com/Illinois spelled out. Check out Flower Expo. Thank you, Kai, for hooking Mr. and Mrs. Weedman and Shoddy, the producer, with some media passes. We're super stoked to check this out and get really baked and have a lot of fun. Yeah. Next thing we're doing, shout out to Brunch of Stoners. We back. Brunch of Stoners, Chicago unofficially 420 pre-party is April 6th from 11 to 3 p.m. in the Pilsen neighborhood. Multiple food stations, consumption stations, and activities. So much room for activities at this new venue we saw. So much room. Craft brands, large brands, independent dispensaries, and local artisans will be there. I think one of the dispensaries is Sway, located in Boys Town on the north side. VIP tickets are available. Use the promo code, all caps now, everybody, all caps, WM420. All caps. WM420, all caps, for $20 off each ticket. Thanks, Felix, for hooking up our audience. We appreciate that. Love it. So check out Brunch of Stoners, April 6th, 11 to 3 p.m. in the Pilsen neighborhood. Wow. I'm stoned already.
I just decided I needed more for some reason.
I think that was 30% too.
Great.
Give me a minute.
Scrape me up off the floor in a few minutes.
I still got some more. I still got some more stuff to read here and be professional before I get loopy.
Good luck to you. By the time it gets to my turn, I don't know where I'm going to be.
Don't put it out yet.
Oh,
That's
I'm
a
not.
slow burn.
That's nice.
We had a great Tuesday night. Today's Wednesday, 3/19, and we usually record on Tuesdays. But we didn't. We got invited to a movie night at Stash Dispensary in Orland Hills, and we were invited by our good friend Steph, who works at Island Farms, one of the largest, I guess, flower cultivation in Illinois, from what she was telling us. And she invited us to come along with JoJo, who runs the marketing team over at Stash Dispensaries in Orland Hills. And I want to thank Steph for always trying to include Mrs. Weedman in a lot of the events in 8 decades. Mad respect. And you are a hustler. I've seen you work in different brands, and it looks like you finally found a good home, a company that cares for their employees, and you were laughing, you were all smiles last night, and it looked really good to see you having a lot of fun last night, and you helped set that whole thing up, and it was your first big event. And I would say about 85 people showed up to it on a Tuesday night, movie night, where we were watching Pineapple Express. And when there were some local vendors there, we were there rolling doinks, and I'd like to thank everybody who supported us and bought some goods off the table. Thank you so much for supporting Mrs. Weedman and I. And we got to roll some Island Farms weed, which I think it was called Cake Kick. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people enjoyed it. And there was the student glass people there from Stash. People were getting baked on student glass and having a lot of fun. And it was a fun night watching Pineapple Express. It's been a hot minute since I've seen it. And we were all laughing. Everyone was having a good time. And people were enjoying themselves. And it was just really nice to see a good cannabis event like every one we've gone to. A good cannabis event where the community comes together with people in the industry, people's first time at a party like that, and we got to meet some people and just watching them laugh and smoke weed and just everybody being chill and just no drinking. There was pizza and Dr. Pepper, but there was no drinking. It was just people having a good time, getting baked, and just chilling out on couches and watching a movie.
Yeah,
right.
It was great.
What did you think about it, Ms. Weedman?
I thought it was really cool, and like Mr. Weedman said, to get that many people out on a Tuesday evening, right? Like pretty random.
Yeah.
And it was really cool, and they had the whole space set up with couches and cocktail tables, so then you had a place to kind of set up shop if you wanted to consume, and they had this, I don't know, gigantic screen and this really high quality projection. It was really great. They talked about doing it more regularly, and there were just a handful of us vendors there, so that people could engage and consume if they didn't. If they didn't already consume before they came in, they could just keep consuming while they were there.
Yeah, there was
and there
dab
were some
bar.
goodies. Yeah, there was a dab
goodies.
bar.
Everyone got a goodie bag. There was a lot of people a lot of vendors, like suppliers that threw some goodies in some bags. You always get hooked up when you go to Stash. And every Stash event, I think there's never not been a goodie bag.
Yeah,
which is fun.
Yes.
People get to try different brands maybe they've never tried before. And like I said, it was a very nice, well-run, cool, calm, collective
and
event.
JoJo at Stash is part of their marketing team and their event team, or he runs it. He runs it. And he just does a phenomenal job.
Yeah.
It's always very secure. It's very organized. The guys that manage the dispensary are just very professional, and the setup is always just really thought out.
Yes.
There
were some people. Corner Boys were there who we've smoked their stuff on their show. They're always great to talk to.
Relo Wraps was there.
Relo Wraps were there. Who else was there? There was Island Farms, of course.
Right.
There was a few other brands. I can't remember who else we talked to. We were kind of getting a little baked towards that end, towards the middle there. So, but it was just it was fun to see.
Nice.
It was fun to see some people we know in the industry too. We met some new friends and new stoners, burners, and potheads coming into our life. And so it was fun. It was a good time, and I enjoy events like that. To take me out of the studio on my favorite night of the week, Tuesday night, to go to an event is pretty.
That's a pretty big.
Yeah, it's a pretty big deal. Yeah. I've not, since we changed recording dates. We used to record on Monday, and when we first started the show, Mrs. Weedman and I together, then we went to Tuesdays, and for I think 3 years now, we've recorded every Tuesday. We haven't taken a break on a Tuesday.
I think one vacation.
One vacation, yes. Yeah. And I don't miss a Tuesday. And I said that to them. I was joking. I'm like, to get me to not record on a Tuesday night, it was a pretty big deal. And it was a lot of fun. So thanks, Stash. Yeah. Thanks, Island Farms. And thanks, Stephanie and JoJo and everybody there at the Stash team, too. They're always super cool. We watched a movie. I'm actually pretty stoned.
I'm pretty stoned.
We watched a movie on Saturday. Was it Friday or Saturday? Saturday night. We watched a movie, and it was up for an Academy Award. I think someone won Best Supporting Actress from this movie. It's called The Substance. Now, the only two actors that I'm going to mention in here is Demi Moore and Dennis Quaid, because I really didn't know any of the other actors' names. Wow, what a movie. I mean, I'm going to let you talk about it first, because you telling your side of it is so good. Because when we were watching this movie, you got to a point where what you were saying towards the end there.
You just lost me.
But you also said, this is so dumb.
This is ridiculous. I said this is just so
go ahead.
Fucking dumb.
I'm going to let you have some. I'm going to
what the fuck? It started off with it was a good premise. It was about kind of vanity and the extremes that us humans go to never age, or to look a particular way that you feel you should look, and all of the conditioning that society has done that makes that all okay, and what it really does to the individual. So it starts off with this really good message, don't fuck with your body. Take care of your body and do good things to it and live with what you've got. It's not that bad. Anyway, that's I shouldn't really say that, because some people really have challenges with how they look, and it does improve their life.
Right.
So I get it. I do get it. I'm sorry about that. With that said, it just spiraled out of control. It did. It went from holy shit, Demi is freaking completely naked right now.
A bunch of times.
And then it was whoa, now I'm seeing that body part. Oh, and that one. Oh, we've seen it all. Wow. Okay. And she, guess what, is very human. And it was very empowering to see such an icon of an actor or actress from our generation that is on a pedestal of don't age because you have to look a certain way. You know, you're Demi Moore. You can't ever look different than, you know, in Ghost or in whatever movie, G.I. Jane when she was ripped, or whatever it is that you have.
St. Elmo's Fire.
Yeah, with her long hair and whatever. Yes. So they're right. So just about every guy in my generation,
every guy's poster on their back of their door
had a fascination with Demi Moore. So there's a pedestal there, right?
Yeah.
And if you do see her today, you'd be like, wow, she doesn't age. She looks fantastic, and she takes good care of herself. She's probably done a little, you know, touch up work, whatever. Do your thing. So in this movie, you're seeing all the stuff. So it's like going down this aisle of sending a good message. And then all of a sudden, the fucking sci-fi shit has to come into play. It's like, why didn't they just stick to their guns? And it became like creating a clone of yourself, but the clone is a more improved you. And then you and your clone, younger or just more superior. Like,
right.
Not even necessarily looking identical, which I thought was weird. I expected them to look the same.
Didn't look at it like a...
No, it was just like a different human.
Yep.
But it's a better version of you.
Yes.
Whatever that means. And you are living symbiotically in two different planes of life. So for 7 days, you're that person, and for 7 days, you're your original person. And you have to think the same and be the same. And you can't extend your time on the other part. You have to be 7 days. And so it's the story of getting caught up in that life, that better life, and not, it really is what it came down to. Like the better life person just became so powerful and empowered and didn't want to give or go back to the older life. They couldn't. Yeah.
The guy on the phone kept on saying, "You're both one."
Yeah.
You have to bond. You have to learn to work. Basically,
and you have to learn. You have to leave. There's no exception.
Yes.
7 days at a time. So like the premise, like when I'm telling it as a story, this still sounds really good, but it just goes off the rails. It goes off the rails on the days and what it does to you. And then it was just
scary,
like
creepy.
She got a creepy. Demi Moore got on top of being naked and seeing every bit of aging that her body has done, which isn't terrible, trust me. She still looks fantastic. But then they added she got a witch finger. She got like I'll get you, my pretty. She got this little funky, dried up, shriveled up old lady, one finger that was all crooked and knuckly and green practically. And it had a gross nail on it. Because of this overstaying time on the other side. So it was like extra aging her. I'm trying not to give away the story, but it's hard not to kind of talk about it without doing that. Sorry.
You're not spoiling. Really you're not spoiling. Yeah, that Act 1 got me baked as fuck.
Well, it just went off the deep end. It really did.
The ending.
It was just ridiculous.
Where the clone.
I was getting so mad about it.
The clone her body was falling apart because she basically killed Demi, basically. And so she tried to reclone herself, but you can only use the green stuff once. There's
like a medicine to keep you thriving while you're on the other side.
When you start the clone process, remember that green juice?
The switch, the energizer.
Demi didn't throw it away, so the one clone used it on herself.
Yes.
And remember, what popped out of her was just a fucking awful mess of a thing.
Yeah.
And then Demi Moore's face was on her shoulder.
My God.
With her hands sticking.
Now you're giving it away. You just watch it. Just watch it.
You were just so mad at that part.
Oh my God, I was so mad at that part. Why didn't Demi Moore just die?
They could have ended it right there, and
then
the girl dropped,
like a body part on like a morphed
thing,
crippled monster.
Yes,
of
a thing.
Yes, and she became this melted
and
face on the shoulder.
And she was screaming the whole time.
She didn't have hands.
So she had one. She had one arm that was sticking up like this.
Oh my God, it was just ridiculous.
They could have ended it with her with the clone.
She could have gone out with
the clone
a good role.
The clone killing her, right? after she stole all the juice, killing her, and then went to go do the big thing she was supposed to do. I'm not going to tell you what, the big scene she had, and just dying on the stage and ended it. That would have been a perfect ending. Instead,
dramatic.
they took it to the extreme.
It was just
They took it
dumb.
to that part where it's like, you didn't need to go that far.
Yeah.
It would have been
Yeah.
a better ending.
Like whoever liked the beginning of that movie, I'd like to see the percentage of people that liked it for the last third of it.
Yes.
Tell me.
The last like 10 minutes.
No.
15
no,
minutes?
Like the last
15
hour.
minutes. No, for you maybe. The last
bad.
the
It got
last
so
15 minutes I would say is bad.
Oh, geez. Watch it and write to us and tell us what you think about it. Side Mr. Weedman, side Mrs. Weedman. Wackadoodle dumb movie.
The last 15 minutes of the third clone ugly humanoid, they could have cut that all out. The rest of the movie to me was good.
Nobody knows
Dennis
what we're talking
Quaid
about.
was
at this
actually
point.
fucking.
He was a wacko.
He was a pig.
And it had a little, and it was very graphic. There was a lot of needles, so don't watch it if that's
Yeah,
something
Mrs.
that
Weedman covered
there
her
was a
face like
lot
30
of,
times.
like gross sound effects. There was a lot of
I liked
blood.
it. I liked it. And you know what? What you talked about in the beginning of explaining about Demi Moore showing herself on screen.
Yeah.
That took. You
I
said,
commend her for that.
Yeah.
That was very brave.
meanwhile, you're going up against your clone, and that
Yeah.
clone is fully naked all the time too.
Yeah.
And that's 25 years younger.
Right.
You know.
Right.
And you have
So
to
you're looking at this like beautiful, beautiful young girl who's like, got this body that's perfect.
on some
Right.
teenager's door right now, a poster.
Yeah, yeah. And then Demi Moore, that was that,
Yes.
who's now just, a very well-conditioned middle-aged woman.
Yep.
But she's not that 20-year-old or
Crazy.
25-year-old.
Right.
Yeah.
It was
Bizarre.
good. I suggest you watch it. Don't pay for it though.
No,
It's
no.
not
Wait
worth-
till it's free.
Yeah, wait till it's free. It's not worth paying for. I didn't pay for it. I watched it for free. So
And get really high. That'll
yes.
help.
Yeah, we were
And have some
fucking-
snacks so when it goes downhill,
Snacks.
just start snacking and smoke some more weed. Oh, yes. That lizard.
They ain't no lizard.
Oh, the snake.
The snake.
I've got a story
Hey,
about a
listen.
lizard. I got a lizard story.
Listen. I'm gonna rob you with my snakes.
Yeah.
Psst, that's how I'm gonna come into rob you. Psst, psst, psst. Sick 'em up. Sick 'em up. Give me all some
only in
money.
Tennessee.
Give me all the money. So these crooks robbed a convenience store armed with 2 pythons and goofy cannabis oil heist. The snake is a weapon.
Yes. You like that? I'd feel like, take what you need.
Police in Tennessee
Take what you
are
need.
looking for a couple crooks who
Take that
stole
snake with you.
$400 worth of cannabis oil from a local gas station convenience store while armed with 2 pythons. So what do you go up and going?
Smart. I mean,
This,
like, can you get arrested?
why
for that?
would you give them anything? I would laugh at them. I'd be like,
They did.
seriously?
They probably just took it off the shelf then.
Whatever. But you come in with snakes, like,
Snakes.
sick them up.
Sick 'em up. It's pretty good, Mr. Weedman.
Sick them up.
You thought about that, didn't you?
I did all day today. I was
You couldn't wait.
How was I going to explain how was I going to talk about that article? Because it's too funny not to do it in a normal voice. Sick them up. What are you doing, robbing somebody with a fucking boa constrictor?
The witness had to ID the snakes.
I'm fucking
Well, they were
dying.
like brown
Holy
and black
shit.
and
When I
white.
read that article a couple days ago and I sent it to you, I'm like, wait till you
What the
fucking read this. This is so good.
Like,
Pick him up.
you're cracking yourself up.
Because it's just so stupid.
That's pretty funny.
If I was that clerk, if I was the fucking cashier, I just would have started laughing. I'd be like, take everything. You got
Yeah,
me. You got me. I would have died
you win.
laughing.
That's silly. Have my money. Take it all.
Oh my gosh. Sorry, everybody. Whew. My cheeks hurt.
Oh, they didn't even steal money. They just stole
$400 worth of cannabis oil.
shitty weed.
Which is what I used to call snake oil.
Shitty.
They
It
stole
is
snake
snake
oil.
They probably make the stuff and sell it, and then they
my
steal
God.
it back
Oh
and
my
sell
God.
it back again.
Stick them up. slithering slivers. I'm getting the snake oil.
Slide that weed into my bag.
All right. You ready to get the show started?
Yeah.
Why do you need to rehydrate your weed? Sometimes weed gets dry, depending on how you store it. You know, you might have it for a little while, or you might have bought stale weed, you know, like
It happens.
It happens. It does. So cannabis plants, when harvested, are fresh and contain a lot of moisture. In order to dry up the wet weed, cannabis growers can follow a number of methods to dry and cure cannabis flower. The most widely known method of drying cannabis flower involves hanging the harvested and trimmed branches upside down in dark, enclosed in a well-ventilated area between 60 degrees 65 at 50 to 60% humidity, typically for at least 10 to 15 days. It says here 5, but I've never done 5 days, but there might be somebody that does. The process helps the flower dry correctly and prevents undesirable aromas and flavors. During the cannabis drying process, starches in the plants are converted into reducing sugars that further degrade into carbon dioxide and water. Chlorophyll, the compound that gives the plant its green colors, also degrades alongside the starches during drying processes. Cannabis flower are then often cured in order to remove remaining unwanted chlorophylls that built up salts. Curing dries up cannabis flowers further, allowing them to be stored for longer without the risk of growing mold. So why would you need to rehydrate cannabis? Cannabis flower that becomes too dry may lose a good portion of the terpenes, reducing aroma and flavor. When your cannabis flower retains the perfect moisture content, it helps preserve the fragile terpenes with the trichomes on the flower. Cannabis flower with good moisture content will have a better smell and taste and shouldn't be harsh when inhaling. If you find your bud is dry, flavorless, smells musty, or irritates the throat when inhaling, it may be time to rehydrate your weed. Ideally, cannabis flower should be around 10 to 12% inner moisture content. What are the effects of overly dried or overly damp weed? When weed is too dry, loss of aroma and flavor. When cannabis becomes too dried out, it results in a loss of terpenes and flavonoids due to their fragile nature. The cause the flower to lose not only its flavor but also its scent. Loss of potency. When cannabis has been dried over a long period of time exposed to oxygen and light, it also degrades the cannabinoids, making for a less potent high. Harsh to inhale. When smoking weed that is too dried out, users often experience a harsher inhale. This can increase throat and lung irritation, resulting in more coughing. When weed is too moist. Sorry if you don't like the word moist, but that's
Gotta use it.
Gotta use it. Oh, dog.
There's really no way around it.
There's no way around it. It's like, how do you explain cake? It says it on the box.
Right.
Moist cake. How do you explain it? Can't say it's damp cake.
No.
Right? Moist.
Yeah.
Yeah. How's that damp cake? Mold and pathogens formation. Wet cannabis has a higher chance of developing mold and other bacteria and pathogens that thrive in moist conditions. Inhaling these toxins can cause difficulty breathing and has the potential to lead to pneumonia. Difficult to grind. Cannabis flower with high moisture content is often wet and sticky, making it hard to break apart with a grinder. It does not easily burn. When weed can be hard to smoke, if it burns at all, it won't burn evenly. It weighs more but costs the same as dried flower. Flower with the more moisture has heavier weight, so when the purchased cannabis flower with too high of moisture content, you're getting less smokable cannabis. Crazy. How to properly rehydrate your weed. So you want to breathe new life into some old bud you found. Here are a few tips on safely rehydrating overly dried weed. 1. Keep away from light and oxygen. What kind of jars should they be using?
Our 8 decades mirror and violet glass.
There it is.
Yeah.
Exposure to light and oxygen increase the rate at which your cannabis flower dries out. When rehydrating your weed, be sure to place it on the airtight and UV protected glass jar. What are they called again?
Mirror and violet glass
With
from
8
8
decades.
decades. Yep.
Not only will this help prevent weed from drying out more, but it will slow down the degradation of the cannabinoids. Number 2, use a humidity pack. I always have a Boveda 62% humidity pack in my jars. Always, always, always. Adding a humidity pack from the company I just mentioned can help rehydrate your weed and prevent from drying out in the first place. These humidity packs help retain the optimal humidity level for your stored cannabis flower. You can store this with your cannabis flower long-term and retain the moisture content. Hydrostones. The product is a round, flat terracotta disc you soak in water. Terracotta discs are commonly used to keep brown sugar fresh, but you can always use them to rehydrate your weed. Ensure the discs are not too moist and only leave it in the inside of the container for a short period of time to prevent mold growth. Remove the terracotta stone when the flower reaches your desired moisture level and enjoy. Number 4, use a damp paper towel or a cotton ball. Place some damp cotton balls or a damp paper towel into your container with your dry flower and let it sit for a few hours and up to a full day. Be sure the cotton ball or paper towel are not too wet in order to reduce risk of mold growth. Remove the cotton balls or paper towel when the flower reaches your desired hydration level. Number 5, the fruit peel method. Now, Big Earl taught me about this one. He said you could throw like an orange peel in there. So the method is a very popular way of rehydrating weed. It typically involves citrus fruit peels such as oranges and limes, but it also works with bananas and apple peels. All you have to do is place your chosen fruit peel inside the container with your buds, even more than other methods. It is important to keep close eye on your flower, though, when using this method, and only use fruit peels for a short period of time, typically a few hours, no more than a day, to prevent mold from forming. Also, you get mold on your orange peels, too, so then it'll affect your whole entire fucking thing, so get it in and out, in and out. Depending on the type of peel you use, this method may also leave your weed with a fruity taste. Remove the fruit peels, grab your lighter, and enjoy. Add some fresh weed. This one I've never heard of. Having some bud with good moisture content can help refresh overly dried cannabis flowers. Just place the fresh nugs in your dried out stash and check back in a day or so. This method can help keep the same desirable cannabis scent over the fruit peel method. Put lettuce in your devil's lettuce. Lettuce contains up to 95% water, which makes it perfect for adding to your jar of dried out weed. Popping some iceberg lettuce into the container as your dry flower will help rehydrate the weed without affecting the smell as much as a fruit peel method. When your flower reaches your desired moisture level, remove the lettuce. The devil's lettuce, that is. The bread slice or tortilla method. Like a fruit peel and lettuce method, bread slices or tortillas contain some moisture that can help rehydrate your weed. Simply stick a piece of the bread or tortilla inside your cannabis container and check in a few hours. You can tell the moisture is transferring to the flower by feeling the slice of bread or tortilla's dryness. Remove the bread slice or tortilla from the container when the flower is rehydrated. Also, bread gets moldy quick.
Yeah.
Make sure I wouldn't
Don't leave it in
there for too long. Conclusion. Cannabis with proper moisture content provides a better aroma, taste, burn, and high. To keep your weed fresh, we recommend you store it in an 8-decades jar correctly with a Boveda pack in a cool, dark area. Storing cannabis right in conditions can prevent your flower from drying out, losing potency in flower, and growing mold. But if it's too late to prevent the weed from drying out, at least you know how to rehydrate your bud. So, learn to rehydrate your weed in an 8-decades jar. Go to 8decades.com, everybody, and check out Mrs. Weedman's baby.
Thanks.
There you go. Does cannabis tolerance decrease with age? Tell us the scientific breakdown of this, Mrs.
I will
Weedman.
try. I will try. For many longtime cannabis users, there comes a moment when they realize their usual dose is hitting harder than expected. So, we build our tolerance up, and then at some point in our life, it goes back down.
Kind of sounds like a heavy drinker.
Yeah.
The tolerance goes high, and then all of a sudden,
it goes down.
It goes down.
Mm-hmm. Maybe that bong rip feels stronger, or an edible lingers longer than it used to. If you've experienced this, you're not imagining things. Cannabis tolerance can indeed decrease with age. But why does this happen? And how does the body's response to cannabis change over time? Let's look at the science of aging and cannabis tolerance. Cannabis tolerance develops when your body gets used to the effects of THC, the main psychoactive compound in cannabis. Over time, cannabis use leads to the desensitization of CB1 receptors in the brain. This means that higher doses are needed to achieve the same effects. However, tolerance isn't a one-way street. It can fluctuate based on several factors, including age. As you grow older, physiological changes can impact how cannabis interacts with your body, leading to lower tolerance and stronger effects, even if you haven't changed your consumption habits. So why does cannabis hit harder as you age? Well, one reason is slower metabolism equals prolonged effects. Metabolism slows with age, affecting how substances like THC are processed. Since THC is fat soluble, it lingers longer in the body when metabolism decreases. This can result in stronger, longer lasting highs, more intense effects from edibles, and a higher likelihood of feeling too high from your usual dose. If you've noticed that your highs feel more intense or take longer to wear off, your metabolism might be playing a role. Am I speaking really slowly?
No, you're good.
Am I right? All right.
You're all right, Spider.
Just, you could speed up playback, people. Number 2, changes in the endocannabinoid system. The endocannabinoid system, or the ECS, regulates how cannabis interacts with the body. As we age, CB1 receptors may become less active or decrease in number, leading to changes in how THC affects you. For some, this results in a heightened sensitivity to cannabis, making even small amounts feel overwhelming. For others, it may change the way they experience effects, such as feeling more sedated or anxious compared to earlier years. Another reason is less frequent use equals lower tolerance. Many people naturally reduce their cannabis consumption as they age, whether due to career responsibilities, family life, or health reasons. Since tolerance builds with consistent use, taking longer breaks between sessions can lead to a stronger high when you consume, increased sensitivity to THC, a need for lower doses than before. If you take a long break from cannabis and return to find it overwhelming, this is probably why. Another factor is body composition and fat storage. THC is stored in fat cells, and body composition changes with age. Factors such as changes in muscle to fat ratio, differences in fat distribution, and hormonal shifts affecting THC metabolism. These can all influence how THC is absorbed and released in the body. This may explain why some older users feel stronger effects from smaller doses than when they were younger. If your tolerance has dropped and cannabis feels stronger than before, here are some tips. 1. Lower your dose. Instead of consuming the same amount as before, start with a smaller dose and work your way up if needed. This is especially helpful for edibles, which can feel more intense with age. 2. Experiment with different strains. Not all cannabis strains affect the body the same way. Consider trying lower THC strains if you're feeling overwhelmed. Try CBD dominant strains for more balanced effects, or try hybrid strains that offer a milder high. You could also, number 3, switch consumption methods. Your usual consumption method might be hitting differently, so try vaping instead of smoking for more controlled effects. Try microdosing instead of taking large hits, or try using tinctures or capsules for more predictable dosing. Another option is 4, take more frequent tolerance breaks. If you're consuming regularly, taking short breaks can help reset your tolerance and make cannabis more enjoyable without feeling overpowered. Cannabis tolerance isn't static. It evolves over time, especially as you age. Whether you've noticed that cannabis affects you differently, or you're looking to fine-tune your consumption habits, understanding these changes can help you make informed decisions about your use. The good news, a lower tolerance often means you need less to feel the effects, making cannabis a more cost-effective and enjoyable experience. So, if your usual dose suddenly feels too strong, don't panic. Just adjust and enjoy the ride.
I always enjoy the ride. Right?
You got to.
Man, let me tell you something. If you have a bad time and you're on cannabis, you need to smoke something different.
Yeah.
Like different
Just
strain.
a different strain.
Yeah, something, because
Don't give up on it.
I've never not had a bad time on cannabis. Now, I've overdone it, but not to the point where, more so because alcohol was involved.
Yeah.
Probably. You know? So, but just, I don't know if I think my tolerance has gone up, but I think it's maintained pretty good. My tolerance for drinking never always sucked too. So I think I'm just a low tolerance person, you know? Mm-hmm. So
okay.
I'm not complaining because I know homies that out there that could fucking burn all day and all night and still don't look like they're high. It's like, geez, you know. So, good article though. Cannabis, is it a medicine, plant, or a drug?
All of the above. Depends on how you're...
There's some reasons it's not so simple.
Oh.
Not so simple.
Tell me why.
I'm going to tell you.
Tell me.
Introduction. Reconsidering how we classify cannabis. When we hear the word drug, specific images likely come to mind: pharmaceuticals in orange bottles, illicit substances, or compounds manufactured in laboratories. Cannabis, while officially classified as a controlled substance in many jurisdictions, present a fascinating challenge to these conventional categorizations. The journalist doesn't aim to deny that cannabis contains psychoactive compounds or that can alter neurochemistry. Instead, seek to explore the nuanced reality that cannabis may not fit neatly into the traditional drug framework that we commonly use. By examining cannabis through multiple lenses, botanical, historical, medical, and cultural, we can develop a more sophisticated understanding of this complex plant and its relationship with humanity. I like that. While acknowledging the current legal classifications of cannabis in many regions, we invite you to consider these 5 compelling reasons why cannabis might deserve a classification beyond the simplistic drug label that is carried for less than a century of 1,000 years of human use. Natural plant versus synthetic substances. Cannabis as a botanical entity. The botanical perspective. Unlike many substances commonly labeled as drugs, cannabis is naturally occurring flowering plant that evolved over millions of years. Cannabis sativa has been cultivated by humans for at least 10,000 years, long before written history. This places alongside wheat, barley, and other ancient cultivated plants as one of humanity's oldest agricultural companions. Minimum processing in traditional use. In the most traditional forms of consumption, cannabis undergoes minimal processing, often simply dried and consumed as a whole plant material. This stands in stark contrast to pharmaceutical drugs, which are isolated, synthesized compounds, processed substances like cocaine or heroin, which require extensive chemical extraction and refinement, synthetic drugs created entirely in laboratories. I love this article. I've read it 3 times because what have I always said about weed? It's not a drug. This article is so good. Just so much right in that first little bit. Botanical complexity. Unlike single compound drugs, cannabis contains over 500 unique compounds, including at least 100 different cannabinoids, terpenes that provide distinctive aromas and potential therapeutic effects, flavonoids, flavorants, esters, and other phytonutrients. This complex botanical profile creates what scientists call an entourage effect, where compounds work synergistically in which single molecule drugs cannot replicate. This complexity is characteristics of botanical medicines rather than a typical drugs. So powerful. The endocannabinoid system, when your body already makes cannabis. One of the most compelling arguments for reconsidering cannabis classifications come from a remarkable scientific discovery made in the 1990s, the endocannabinoid system, a system named after cannabis. The endocannabinoid system is only bodily system named after a plant, reflecting cannabis's unique relationships with the human body. The vast network of receptors and signaling molecules exists throughout the body, in the brain, organs, connective tissues, glands, and immune cells. Your body produces cannabis-like compounds. Perhaps most surprisingly, the human body naturally produces compounds called endocannabinoids that are structurally similar to the phytocannabinoids found in cannabis. The 2 primary endocannabinoids are endocannabinide, and I'm stoned, so sorry if I stuttered, named from the Sanskrit word for bliss, and 2-AG bind to the same receptors as THC and CBD. Fundamental regulatory functions. The ECS isn't a minor biological feature. It's fundamental to maintaining hematosis balance within the body, regulating mood and stress, sleep cycles, immune functions, pain perception, inflammation responses, memory processing, appetite, and metabolism. This raises a philosophical question. If our bodies naturally produce compounds similar to those in cannabis and contain an entire system that responds to cannabinoids, can we truly consider cannabis a foreign drug? in the same way we might view synthetic compounds that have no natural analog in our physiology. Ugh! Ugh! This journalist is so good. Historical and cultural context. Cannabis beyond recreation. The modern association of cannabis primarily as a recreational drug represents a narrow and historically recent perspective on plant with diverse applications throughout human civilization. Ancient medicinal heritage. Cannabis has one of the longest documented histories of medicinal use. Chinese pharmacopoeias dating back to 2800 BCE listed cannabis for treating various conditions. Ancient Egyptian medical potpourri mentioned cannabis preparations. In India's Ayurvedic traditions, cannabis can be used for thousands of years. Greek and Roman physicians prescribed cannabis for pain and inflammation. Sacred and spiritual applications. I just read an article about Jesus and the apostles using cannabis oil to anoint people with, and may possibly have used cannabis themselves. So, across many cultures, cannabis has held sacred status. In ancient Hindu traditions, cannabis as bhang was associated with Lord Shiva and uses in religious ceremonies. Rastafarianism views cannabis as a sacrament for meditation and spiritual connection. Some ancient Chinese and Central Asian shamanic traditions incorporated cannabis in ritual context. And Jesus. Industrial and practical applications. Beyond medicine and ceremony, cannabis, particularly hemp varieties, have served practical purposes. Fiber for rope, clothing sales enabled maritime exploration. Paper production, including some of history's most important documents, the Declaration of Independence. Seed oil for lamps, cooking and industrial applications, building materials, and continue to be used today. And hopefully getting better and more used today.
Hopefully.
The diverse historical relationship between humanity extends far beyond the narrow drug classification, suggesting cannabis might better be understood a multi-purpose plant ally with varied relationships to human society. Evolving legal status, shifting classifications worldwide. Perhaps the most substantial evidence that cannabis defies simple classification as a drug lies in the rapidly changing legal landscape surrounding it worldwide. A brief history of prohibition. I love this history lesson. Cannabis prohibition is relatively recent in human history. Cannabis was legally throughout most of the world history used until the early 20th century. The 1937 Marijuana Tax Act effectively became prohibition in the U.S. despite the medical community's objections.
8 decades ago.
8 decades ago. 1970, the Controlled Substances Act classified cannabis as Schedule I, suggesting high potential for abuse and no medical value. Nice job, Nixon. Nice job, Dirty Dickie. UN treaties globalized this approach to cannabis. The modern reclassification movement. Today, we are witnessing an unprecedented reconsideration of cannabis status. Over 35 countries have legalized medical cannabis in some form. Multiple nations and states have legalized adult recreational use. The World Health Organization has recommended rescheduling cannabis under international treaties. Many jurisdictions are expunging past cannabis convictions, acknowledging the injustice of previous classifications. Medical recognition. Perhaps most significantly, governments worldwide increasingly recognize cannabis as a medicine. FDA-approved cannabis-derived pharmaceuticals like Epidiolex, government-regulated medical cannabis programs, insurance coverage for cannabis treatments in some jurisdictions, medicinal research funding for cannabis studies. The evolving legal landscape suggests that societies worldwide are recognizing that cannabis doesn't fit nearly into traditional drug classifications, mainly when the category implies a lack of legitimate use. Therapeutic potential versus recreational use, a different relationship. The final consideration in challenging cannabis classification as a drug involves examining the unique aspects of this relationship with users, particularly in therapeutic contexts, beyond the recreational paradigm. Like substances used exclusively for intoxication, cannabis serves multiple purposes. Patients may use non-intoxicating CBD products for anxiety or inflammation. Medical cannabis also involves microdosing that doesn't produce significant psychoactive effects. Many medical users report improved functionality rather than impairment. Some consumers use minimal amounts of specifically to enhance creative work or focus. Patient-directed approach. Cannabis therapy often follows a different model than pharmaceutical drugs. Patients typically self-triate dosage based on effects. Treatment involves finding individual specific effective doses. Variety of delivery methods allows personalized approaches. Many medical users report using less over time, contrary to addiction pattern. Relationships with conventional medicine. The relationship between cannabis and conventional medicine continues to evolve. Many patients use cannabis as a compliant to traditional treatments. Some report reducing and eliminating pharmaceutical drugs with cannabis. Healthcare providers increasingly incorporate cannabis discussions into treatment plans. Research continues to explore more specific mechanisms of action. The multi-purpose nature and integrative approach differs significantly from how we typically conceptualize drugs, suggesting that cannabis may require more nuanced classification. Toward a more nuanced classification, the journalist in the article doesn't suggest that cannabis contains no drug-like properties or that it should be taken casually. Cannabinoids certainly may have significant effects on the brain and body, particularly THC. Cannabis can use, especially in high concentrations by young people, carries legitimate concerns that shouldn't be dismissed. However, when we examine cannabis through multiple lenses as a plant with minimal processing requirements, as a substance that mimics compounds our bodies already produce, a cultural and historical ally with diverse applications, as a substance increasingly recognized as legitimate medicine, and as a therapeutic tool with unique characteristics, we find compelling reasons to reconsider its simplistic classification as just another drug. Oh, so powerful. Perhaps cannabis deserves a category of its own, one that acknowledges both its potential for recreational use and its broader significance as a therapeutic plant, industrial resources, and cultural touchstones. As societal understanding and legal framework continues to evolve, we may find ourselves adopting more sophisticated language that better capture cannabis' complex relationships with humanity. What remains clear is that traditional drug framework may be insufficient for understanding a plant that has been intertwined with human civilization for thousands of years and interacts with the fundamental system with our own bodies. By expanding our conceptual categories beyond simple diatoms, we can develop a more accurate and nuanced understanding of the cannabis plant and its place in human society. The author's name is Marco. That's all.
I've got one of his articles,
yes,
too.
Marco Cannabis, the founder of High Life Media. Mm-hmm. Such a powerful article on explaining why cannabis is not a drug. Mm-hmm. He mentions it at the end there. There is some stuff that we need to consider. Right. But that whole body of that article was, mwah. Mm-hmm. I'm going to give you the, hey, yo, over here. Mwah. Beautiful. Oh, so well written. And I've been preaching this for 6 years, that cannabis is not a drug. And he put it in such a simplistic way, and why it needs its own classification. I mean, we've talked about all that, but he just summed it up so nicely with his opinion. It was wonderfully done. Marco, wonderful. Cannabis terpenes offer new hope for what?
Chronic pain and fibromyalgia. Yep. New research has identified cannabis-derived terpenes, the compounds that give plants their distinctive aroma, as effective treatments for fibromyalgia and post-surgical pain. In preclinical mouse models, specific terpenes significantly reduced chronic pain, providing promising alternatives to opioid medications and avoiding THC's psychoactive side effects. These findings open the door to developing novel, non-opioid therapeutic options for chronic and post-operative pain management. There are some key facts in this article, and that is geraniol, and linalool. Geraniol.
Oh, yeah, geraniol and linalool. Yes.
Geraniol.
I think it's geraniol.
And linalool.
Linalool is correct.
Yeah. Were the most effective terpenes in relieving fibromyalgia and post-surgical pain. Terpenes could provide safer alternatives to opioids without psychoactive side effects, and terpenes relieve pain by targeting the adenosine A2A receptor.
Nice job, Mrs. Weedman. I gave you certain articles today because of the words I can't pronounce.
Give me the challenges.
Just kidding.
Yeah. The source of this study is the University of Arizona. The paper builds on previous research led by Comprehensive Center for Pain and Addiction member John Stryker, Ph.D., and that showed the pain-relieving properties of terpenes in models of inflammation and chemotherapy-induced neuropathic pain. Our research is showing that terpenes are not a good option for reducing acute pain resulting from an injury, such as stubbing your toe or touching a hot stove. However, we are seeing significant reductions in pain when terpenes are used for chronic or pathological pain, said Stryker, who is a professor in the University College of Medicine. Terpenes, the compounds that give plants their aroma and taste, offer an alternative path to pain relief without the unwanted psychoactive side effects of tetrahydrocannabinol, or THC. Stryker and the research team tested 4 terpenes found in moderate to high levels in cannabis sativa, and those were geraniol, linalool, beta-caryophyllene, and alpha-humulene. They found that each of the terpenes resulted in high levels of pain relief in mouse models of postoperative pain and fibromyalgia. Geraniol provided the most significant level of pain relief, followed by linalool, then beta-caryophyllene, and then alpha-humulene. With fibromyalgia, there isn't much understanding of what the pain state is, and there are not a lot of great options for treating it, Stryker said. Our findings show that terpenes may be a viable treatment option, which could potentially have a large impact and make a difference for this undertreated population. Fibromyalgia is a chronic musculoskeletal disorder that affects up to 5% of the world's population, according to research published in 2023. The U.S. Department of Health and Human Services Office on Women's Health estimates about 4 million U.S. adults have fibromyalgia, which affects women more than men. Post-surgical pain straddles the line between acute pain and chronic pain. It is usually short in duration, but it also involves physiological changes such as increased inflammation and sensitization of the body's pain system that contribute to the pain. Opioids do a good job controlling post-surgical pain, but they can cause constipation that can increase the chances of post-surgical complications, Stryker said. We are always looking for better options, and this study suggests that terpenes could be a novel therapeutic for post-operative pain. Globally, around 310 million major surgeries are performed each year. That's insane, according to 2020 research published in the International Journal of Surgery. The research that is being done by Dr. Stryker's lab on terpenes and their potential to help those who suffer from chronic pain demonstrates the importance of basic research. There are hundreds of unique chemicals that plants make, including the cannabis plant, that are undiscovered, said Todd Vanderraa, PhD, director of the Comprehensive Center for Pain and Addiction at the U of A Health Sciences. Nature is incredible at making unique chemical structures, and many of these chemicals are unknown when it comes to their abilities to aid in human health, diseases, and disorders. A great current example is the medication semaglutide, sold under the brand name Ozempic, which has a chemical structure that was isolated not from a plant, but from an animal that is prevalent in the Southwest, the Gila monster. Believe me, this is a real animal. I looked it up.
I know.
These discoveries from natural products through research, such as Dr. Stryker's, can result in very useful medications. So, more time, more research, and it'll be very exciting to see what cannabis can do.
Can do a lot.
Yeah.
We already know that. You know what?
What?
Cannabis helps us on our Sundays, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Does a lot. Coffee time in the morning. We
Yep.
smoke a joint.
Yep.
Especially you. You can't even wait in the morning. You got that
Yep.
joint ready to go.
Coffee and weed.
Coffee and weed in the morning. I'm watching anime. You're looking at properties and watching TV. And I'm downstairs watching anime, having a cup of coffee. We smoke a little joint together and we do that. But Sundays is a great day. It's just a great day to smoke, relax all day, all night. We just smoke. Bunch of different joints, a bunch of different flavors. It's a lot of fun. But does enjoying Sunday kind of help you be ready for the Mondays?
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah.
You don't want to get up,
Yeah.
in the morning. But once you're up, you're ready, you're going, you know?
Yeah.
It's Monday. You're still like, fuck, it's Monday. I can't sleep until 10, you know?
Right.
So, but the weekend is for fun and relaxing. Then wham, Monday. Here's how to deal with the Sunday scaries. A significant number of people experience anxiety on Sundays anticipating the upcoming work week, with studies indicating with the majority of professionals. I don't even fucking think about work on Sunday. I stopped doing that years ago and made my Sundays so much better. I put it away and it can wait till Monday. Including younger generations experience Sunday scaries, a Sunday blues. Preparing for the week ahead can be stressful, but incorporating cannabis into your Sunday evening routine will help you relax, set a positive tone for Monday. Cannabis helps you enjoy Sunday and be ready for Monday. Here's how. Start your relaxation routine by choosing the right cannabis products. For evening use, try a good strain with some myrcene and indica heavy and just dominant and just chill on the couch in the morning and drink some coffee. And they're good for your calming effects too. You know, strains like Northern Lights and Girl Scout cookies are known for their ability to reduce stress and promote relaxation. If you're new to cannabis and prefer milder effects, consider a product with balanced THC to CBD ratio. Good, like 4-to-1. Ooh, I like a high CBD too. Takes all the pain away. Begin with a low dose, especially if you're using THC products. Research has shown that low dose THCs can help relieve stress, while higher doses might increase anxiety. A good starting point is around 2.5 to 5 milligrams of THC for most people. As you relax, incorporate some light stretching or yoga, or go do rebounding. Sunday morning, you did it.
I do.
You smoked and you went and did some rebound. Yeah. Research has shown a low dose of THC can help relieve stress, while higher doses might increase anxiety. As you relax and incorporate cannabis again, body awareness, stretching, potentially deepening your practice. However, be mindful of your balance, as cannabis can affect coordination sometimes. Not with Mrs Weedman. She gets on that rebounder and goes, go, go, go.
That's how I sound.
Find a comfortable. You don't sound like that at all. I'm just trying to get people to understand.
I hope not. I'll shut the door next time.
Find a comfortable position. Slowly scan your body from head to toe. Paying attention to any sensations. Cannabis may heighten your perception of bodily feelings, helping you release tension more effectively. Use a guided imagery app or a video of transport your mind into a peaceful place. The relaxing effects of cannabis can make the visualizations more vivid and immersive. Practice deep breathing exercises, counting your inhalations and exhalations. Cannabis can help quiet the mind, making it easier to maintain focus on your breath. As you relax, take some time to mentally prepare for the week ahead with a variety of methods to empower yourself of the weeks without spoiling your Sunday. Make a loose plan for your Monday, but avoid getting too detailed to prevent stress. You know what I say on Sunday? I'll just wait till Monday. The relaxed state induced by cannabis can help approach planning with a calmer mindset. End the weekend with some positive affirmations for the week ahead. Cannabis can promote a sense of optimism, reinforcing these positive thoughts. By incorporating cannabis mindful into your Sunday evening routine, you can create a relaxing transition into the new week, potentially reducing Monday anxiety and settling a positive tone for the rest of the days ahead. Start with low dose. Pay attention to how different strains and consumption methods affect you. Everyone's experience with cannabis is unique, so find what's best for you. Have fun with it. Have fun on Sunday. Live life. I'm sorry if you have to work on Sundays, but if you don't work on Sundays, or Monday's your Sunday, or whatever your Sunday is, don't think about your Monday till Monday. We love our date nights.
Yeah, we do.
We probably go out for dinner about 3-4 times a month.
Yeah, I would say.
Yeah, and we go out on date nights to go see music, or I don't know. We like our beach date. Yeah. We like our day dates. Go to the beach on a date. That's fun. Or go for a walk, a hike somewhere. That we love those kind of dates too. So tell us though, because we've incorporated a lot of cannabis in our life and our date nights. We love smoking when we're on a date night. So how can it help for all ages? Tell us about it, Miss Weedman.
Date nights can be vital to maintain a relationship. But did you know marijuana can help your date night? A study by the National Marriage Project found that about 48% of married couples report going on date nights once or twice a month, or more frequently, while 52% reported going on date nights a few times a year or not at all. Couples who prioritize date nights are more likely to report better relationship quality and higher levels of intimacy, passion, and commitment. Date nights can help couples maintain a sense of connection and prevent the relationship from becoming mundane. For younger couples, cannabis can add an element of playfulness, Well, why only for younger? And relaxation to their evening. A shared joint or edible before a movie night can heighten sensory perceptions, making the cinematic experience more immersive. Oh, yeah, this is what we did.
Yes,
we watched the movie.
Yes, we did.
And we were baked. And then when it went bad, I got even more baked. Making the cinematic experience more immersive. Not really. And enjoyable. Well, I found humor in it. The giggles and euphoria induced by certain strains can transform mundane activities into memorable adventures, helping partners find fun in the everyday. Middle-aged couples juggling work and family responsibilities may find cannabis particularly beneficial for unwinding and reconnecting. The stress-reducing properties of marijuana can help partners shed the day's tensions, creating a more relaxed atmosphere conducive to open communication. This can lead to deeper, more meaningful conversations, strengthening emotional bonds and mutual understanding. For older adults, cannabis offers a range of benefits that can rejuvenate their romantic lives. Studies suggest moderate cannabis use may enhance sexual desire and satisfaction, potentially by promoting relaxation. While many seniors are discovering the potential of marijuana to alleviate common age-related issues such as chronic pain, sleep disturbances, and anxiety. By addressing these concerns, cannabis can help older couples feel more comfortable and present during intimate moments, allowing them to fall in love with enjoyable intimacy again. Regardless of age, cannabis has the potential to enhance physical intimacy. As a vasodilator, marijuana increases blood flow, heightening sensitivity in erogenous zones. Ooh. This can lead to more intense and satisfying sexual experiences for couples of all ages. Additionally, the relaxation induced by cannabis can help partners feel more at ease, promoting deeper emotional and physical connections. Couples might enjoy a cannabis-infused dinner, savoring the enhanced flavors and aromas of their meal. Outdoor enthusiasts can elevate their experiences by sharing a pre-roll before a scenic hike or picnic, allowing them to appreciate nature's beauty with heightened senses. So have fun. Discover new ways to add weed into your date night.
I love a good date night.
Yeah, and I love a good weed date night.
Yes. I was reading the stats, like they were saying like how many percentage go on dates, what age group and stuff like that, and there was like there was one part that said not at all.
Yeah.
I was like,
Isn't that sad?
that's rough.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't have to be an extravagant date night. A date night could be go get some sandwiches and go sit
To me,
down.
like a date night is just that we're doing something together.
Right. Yeah.
Even if it's like just ordering a pizza and watching a movie.
Right.
It's just us. We're
Right.
not inviting anyone else over to hang
And
out. We're
Yuki.
not going out with other people. We're not looking to like socialize
Right.
with other people. We're looking to
It's just you and I.
us. So it doesn't
Just
really
you
matter.
and I.
It can be like they said, like going for a hike. It
Right.
doesn't have to be this formal big
Right.
to do.
Yeah.
Getting
Could be,
dressed up. and
it's
all that.
about the quality time.
So yeah, it's just spending time and having like conversing about your week
Yeah.
and life.
Not even
and,
just talking, sitting.
and just dumb shit.
Yeah.
And
laughing.
if it's me, just a lot of shit.
But we also, I love
You do a lot of listening.
But we do a lot of laughing.
We do.
We do have
At
a
ourselves.
lot of
Yeah.
at each other.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah.
We that's if you can make each other laugh hard, that gut belly like tear jerking laugh. You're gonna be together for a long time. There's just something about that, the comedy with the marriage, you know, whether after an argument or something like that, and all of a sudden I don't want to be mad anymore at you, and you don't want to be mad, so I'm gonna try to make you laugh, and you might be mad and punch me in the arm, and be like a jerk. Okay, great. Now we're back together. We're back having fun again, laughing. The other thing is too, in a good marriage, don't ever go to bed angry at one another.
Yeah.
End it. Give a kiss goodnight, a hug, whatever you do, your partner or whatever. Just don't go to bed angry. You won't sleep well, right?
That's right.
It's the one rule. Don't go to bed. Don't go to bed angry. And go on a date night.
Yeah.
Political, state, and business news. Chicago chefs attempt world's largest infused pizza on Pie Day.
I heard. Yeah.
On March 14, 2025, to celebrate Pi Day, Chicago dispensary at Pauly G's collaborated to create a massive 64 by 32-inch cannabis-infused pizza aiming to set a world record. The pizza yielding 50 slices, each containing 2.5 milligrams of THC microdose. Great. Infused with Mike's Hot Honey, was served at Logan Square dispensary location. The event featured a consumption lounge where attendees could enjoy the pizza alongside products from the dispensary. Custom equipment from Reno Metalware and Pepperoni and Ezzo's were used in bringing the project to fruition.
So did they man it? They did it?
They did it. Oh yeah,
Yay.
they did it. And it was served at the dispensary.
Cool.
So, and we like Pauly G's,
Yes.
the Detroit style pizza. Mwah, another one. Illinois Cannabis Consumption Association, though. Oh wait, there was something else about that too. I think someone complained.
Oh, come on.
Yeah.
About what?
So there was a message that went out after this thing, and there was people that were upset that this was going on. There was a Karen. A Karen.
Let the people have their fun.
I know, right?
Jeez Louise.
Illinois Cannabis Consumption Association, the ICCA, moves to legalize on-premise cannabis consumption on the on-premise. I'm going to read a little bit about them because they're friends of ours, and I would like to help them out here. Illinois moves to legalize on-premise cannabis consumption. Springfield, Illinois, February 24th, 2025. A major milestone in cannabis policy reached the Illinois legislative with the introduction of the On-Premise Cannabis Consumption Act, the HB 3061, which we've talked about. This bill was crafted by the Illinois Cannabis Consumption Association, the ICCA, would establish cannabis hospitality venues and temporary cannabis events. Over 1.2 million Illinoisans consume cannabis daily. Where are they using it? Said Depeche Sharma, vice president of the ICCA. The On-Premise Cannabis Consumption Act will give municipalities the power to regulate safe, designated consumption spaces so cannabis use happens responsibly and not in the shadows. What the bill does, establishes cannabis hospitality venues. Businesses like cafes, music venues, art galleries, yoga studios can apply for the license with their municipality to create dedicated consumption spaces. They can be indoor with proper HVAC or outdoor if site obscured. Allows for temporary cannabis events. Local government can issue special event permits for cannabis consumption at festivals, private gatherings, industry events, and other temporary settings outside the cannabis hospitality venues. A true grassroots effort. The On-Premise Consumption Act was crafted by cannabis consumers and business owners, not corporate lobbyists. The Illinois Cannabis Consumption Association has pushed the bill forward without a single donation or any industry funding. The organization is backed by thousands of cannabis consumers who enjoy cannabis socially and want to see on-premise consumption legalized and normalized. Cannabis consumption is already happening. We want it to happen safely, says Nathan Scanlon, president of the ICCA. The bill allows for well-ventilated spaces for cannabis consumption. If you want to be around cannabis, you can. And if you don't, you won't have to. It's not about smoking everywhere. It's about creating responsible, controlled spaces just like we do for alcohol. For more information, media inquirers and get involved, contact Madeline Scanlon, Maddie, at icca.canna@gmail.com or visit the www.consumptionact.com. About the Illinois Cannabis Consumption Association. The Illinois Cannabis Consumption Association is a grassroots organization founded by cannabis consumers and business owners who believe in legalization must be included safe, legal places to enjoy the plant. The ICCA's goal is to help nascent cannabis hospitality industry emerge with cannabis viability and consumer experience at the forefront. Go get them, Maddie.
And Nate and
Nate
Depeche.
and Depeche.
They are working their butts off with
Yes,
that.
they are.
And they're doing a fantastic job.
Yes, they are.
Yeah.
Go get them. Illinois medical cannabis sales are still slumping. The Illinois Department of Public Health today in February released 2025 medical cannabis sales totals. Retail sales medical cannabis for February were in a slump of $19 million. It's a big slump. $748,199, which was the lowest total since June of 2019. This followed January 2025 at $21 million, which was the lowest since July of 2019. Do not let medical fail, Illinois. Do not let med fail. February marijuana sales continue to indicate market growth in Missouri. Missouri has started 2025 with a solid performance, selling $122 million in January and closing the month of February at $116 million. Although February totals represent 5.4% dip from January's total, the more important comparison is the notable year-over-year growth at 6.16% compared to February of 2024 at $109 million. Now they're calling Missouri as becoming a cannabis mecca. a mecca for cannabis. Here's why. Missouri has rapidly become a significant player in the cannabis market since legalization of recreation in 2022, now ranking as the 7th largest state for weed sales. The success is attributed to the state's conservative approach, featuring low taxes, good for you, effective regulations shape the industry's input, and its strategic locations near states where recreational cannabis remains illegal. Missouri's streamlined regulatory framework limiting the number of licenses issued has helped avoid market oversaturation. It's good for you, Missouri. Additionally, the state's 6% marijuana sales tax is lower compared to Colorado's 15% and way lower than Illinois, further enhancing its appeal. Geographically, Missouri benefits from its position among 8 states, with only Illinois allowing recreational weed. Attracting out-of-state customers, the cannabis industry has significantly boosted Missouri's economy by $244.9 million in tax revenue in 2024. And they didn't rob the people, because they did over $1 billion, but they didn't rob people. They made a good amount of money, unlike Illinois robbery. Sorry, did I say that out loud? Are 4 times the state's initial projections. The sector has also revitalized areas previously affected by industry's decline, with former warehouses now housing cannabis firms. Idaho Senate signs off a proposed anti-marijuana constitutional amendment. Boo. Idaho voters will be asked to decide if only the Idaho legislature could legalize cannabis. House Joint Memorial 4 puts the proposed amendment to the Idaho Constitution voted for Idaho on November 2026 general election. If a majority of voters pass the amendment, Idaho voters would no longer have the power to legalize marijuana through a citizens' ballot initiative. I'm telling you right now, Idahoans, please do not let your government control you like that. You should have the right to say yes or no on any vote, not your government telling you what to do. That's not what the Constitution stands for. There are civil servants. We tell them what to do. Never forget that. And if they're going to take that and use that against you one day to where you are not going to be able to ever get that back, it's going to get written in your Constitution, your state Constitution. Please, please, for all mercy, do not let the government control you. Idaho lawmakers push for medical cannabis legalization, though, right after that. State Rep Jordan Redmond sponsored a bipartisan medical cannabis legalization bill last week, named Sergeant Kills-Buyer Medical Cannabis Act, along with Representative Rubel. So you have a Democrat and a Republican coming together, coming across the table to get a medical done. So one, Idaho, do not let your government control your vote to legalize or not legalize cannabis. Hey, if you go for it and it doesn't hit and there's more no's than yeses, you had the option to vote for it. Mm-hmm. Get it back on the ballot again. Try again. And have better reasoning why to have it medical. Maybe you don't need recreational. Allow medical, allow 6 plants to 12 plants home grow. Mm-hmm. Solve everything. Idaho lawmakers, so they pushed for it. We'll see what happens. I don't know. Frustration grows in Delaware, though. Cannabis industry after delay in business openings. On March 11, 2025, Delaware's cannabis industry expressed frustrations over delays in launching recreational marijuana sales. Industry leaders rallied outside Legislative Hall in Dover, urging lawmakers to expedite the opening of recreational marijuana businesses. The state legalized it in 2023, with sales initially expected to commence in April of 2025. Delays are primarily due to pending federal approvals for background checks, as the Office of Marijuana Commissioner awaits fingerprinting authorizations from the FBI. The holdup has left many licenses holders in limbo, having invested significant resources in anticipation for the market's launch. Additionally, locally zoning restrictions, particularly in Sussex County, have further complicated efforts to establish retail locations for cannabis businesses. Compounding these challenges, the state's marijuana commissioner resigned in January 2025. Leaving the position vacant and contribute to uncertainties with the industry's rally, are calling for immediate actions to set a definitive start date for recreational cannabis and to address zoning issues hindering business operations. Crazy. 2 marijuana bills introduced in Kansas State House. So Dorothy and Toto might get some weed and really go flying in that tornado. On March 10th of 2025, Kansas legislators introduced 2 significant bills aiming to legalize cannabis use in the state. Senate Bill 294 proposes the authorization of medical marijuana for processing, distribution, sale, and use. House Bill 2405 seeks to legalize cultivation, manufacturing, possession, and sale of marijuana for adults, establishing a regulatory framework for licensing businesses and implementing a 15% tax on cannabis revenue. Need a drink, everybody. Give me a sec.
That is some good weed.
Yeah, I'm stoned. Yeah. Still. Lasted a very long time. Maryland senators approved bill to protect firefighters and rescue workers from being punished for medical marijuana. On March 13, 2025, the Maryland Senate Finance Committee passed a bill aimed at protecting firefighters and rescue workers who are registered medical cannabis patients from employment discrimination related to their off-duty use of medical marijuana. Good for you, Maryland. The legislation prohibits employers from disciplining or discriminating against these employees solely based on positive THC metabolite test results. However, employers retain the right to enforce zero-tolerance policies concerning on-duty cannabis impairment. Maryland also collected $73 million in cannabis tax revenue in 2024.
That's pretty good.
That's pretty good. Twin Cities civil rights activist creating, selling, educating on low-dose cannabis. A civil rights activist from the Twin Cities Deep Roots is venturing into the cannabis industry by developing marketing and education to the public about low-dose cannabis products. The initiative aims to provide consumers with controlled, minimal THC experiences, emphasizing responsible uses and informed choices. The activist efforts to reflect commitment to social equity and community engagement within the evolving cannabis market. Hundreds of Humboldt marijuana farmers expected to lose their licenses. Humboldt County, California cannabis cultivators face potential licensing revocations due to significant tax delinquencies. Voters approved measures S 2016 instituting cultivation tax $1 to $3 per square foot, depending on the cultivation type. However, March 31st, 2025, many cultivators have failed to settle the outstanding from 2017 to 2021, totaling over $17 million. Approximately 70% of the county's 1,000 cultivation permits holds unpaid tax debts, averaging $12,000 with some exceeding $150,000. The Humboldt County Board and Supervisors are scheduled to discuss enforcement actions, including license suspensions and revocations on their March 25th meeting. And then 15 cannabis permits were revoked by Humboldt County Board of Supervisors. On Tuesday, the Humboldt County Board of Supervisors unanimously voted to revoke 15 more cannabis cultivation permits for failure to pay measure state taxes. During a presentation, Assistant Planner Kathleen Johnson said permit holders were given until March 31st, 2024 to enter into a payment plan. The permits owe $211,000 in unpaid measures as taxes, according to the staff report. These revocations follow a group of 21 permits revoked earlier this month under the similar circumstances. Damn. Report 6 state markets to contribute more than 75% of the cannabis growth over the next 3 years. You want to know what states they are? Here's the 6 states. You ready? Illinois, New York, Jersey, Maryland, Ohio, and Minnesota are all set to contribute to more than 75% of the U.S. cannabis sales growth
75%.
over the next 3 years.
Say them again.
Illinois, New York, Jersey, Maryland, Ohio, and Minnesota. Another rough month in Michigan. Michigan cannabis sales for February fell from a year ago to about 2.4%, which was up from the per day basis at 241.3 million. You're upset about that?
Yeah, right.
Sales were down
Sounds like
7.6% from the year earlier. What are you upset about?
It's not enough.
No, not enough.
Give me more.
Also, illegal Michigan butane hash oil operation busted with 2,000 pounds of marijuana seized. Kind of funny because we just did an episode 75 on butane hash oil with Wolfie. And it was funny. I sent him this article and he was like, I used to live there and I worked at the Hooters over there in that town.
He knew the area.
Yeah. Detective, he goes, yeah, a lot of crazy shit going on in that area. Detectives recovered over 2,000 pounds of marijuana, 312 marijuana plants, 32 pounds of butane hash oil. That's a lot of fucking hash oil. 32 pounds? Good lordy. Psilocybin mushrooms, DMT, and some MDMA and some guns. West Tennessee Drug Task Force seizes 150 pounds of marijuana on I-40 and the woman was arrested. Utah's medical cannabis industry celebrates a milestone. Utah's medical cannabis industry has recently achieved a significant milestone, making a pivotal movement in the state's evolving approach for medical marijuana. An historic development, workers at Wholesome Company in West Bountiful ratified union contract, becoming the first cannabis industry workers in Utah to do so. The agreement, facilitated by the United Food and Commercial Workers, Local 99, includes guaranteed wages increase over 3 years, comprehensive medical insurance coverage, dental and vision benefits, paid bereavement and parental leave, paid time off, paid holidays, and meal breaks. That's pretty good. Additionally, legislative efforts are underway to refine the state's medical cannabis program. House Bill 357 proposes modifications, including the repeal of provisions related to qualified medical providers and limited medical providers, aiming to streamline the program and improve patient access. These developments reflect Utah's commitment to advancing its medical cannabis industry, balancing regulatory adjustments with workforce advancements to better serve patients and the community. Colorado regulators allowed hemp-derived THC into the market, lawsuit says. A lawsuit filed by Mammoth Farms accuses Colorado marijuana enforcement, the MED, of allowing hemp-derived synthetic THC products into the state's regulated market. The suit claims the products, often unsafe and mislabeled, have undermined the industry's enabling criminal activities like smuggling and misusing the track and trace system. Mammoth contends that these failures have destabilized Colorado's $1.4 billion cannabis market, harming law-abiding businesses. The company is calling for changes in the leadership of MED. Texas Senate passes hemp ban, a Dan Patrick priority. This Texas Senate passed a bill banning all THC products, a priority of Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick, aiming to shut down the state's booming hemp-derived THC market. The bill outlaws products like THC-infused gummies and vapes, citing public health concerns. Opponents argue the ban could kill the hemp industry, impact jobs, and drive consumers to the black market. The Texas House is considering a less restrictive proposal, focusing on tighter regulations instead of a complete ban. We shall see. Stay tuned. Minnesota cannabis businesses application portal crashes ahead of licensing deadline. A Minnesota judge rules that the state can still prosecute marijuana crimes on tribal lands. A lot of shit going on in Minnesota. A Minnesota judge ruled that the state can still prosecute marijuana possession crimes on tribal land even after cannabis legalization. The case involved Todd Thomason, a member of the White Earth Band of Chippewas, who argued that his rights were protected by the 1855 treaty. The judge disagreed, stating marijuana possession remains a criminal offense under state law. The decision highlights an ongoing tension between state and tribal sovereignty regarding the cannabis regulation. Didn't you think we've taken enough from them? You should just let them do what they need to do. Let the people of this nation. They deserve it. New Yorkers will benefit from higher quality weed and more places to buy from this year, experts say. Experts predict New Yorkers will see better quality cannabis and more retail options in 2025, with over 200 dispensaries in New York City, 325 statewide. The market is expected to continue growing with a wider variety of products, including legacy and craft cannabis. As on-site consumption regulations are finalized, cannabis events and nightlife may become more popular. Pre-rolls are also expected to remain a top seller. Nobody listens to me about pre-rolls. How long have I been talking about pre-rolls? And you see every state now, pre-rolls fucking killing it. This year marks a strong recovery for the state's cannabis industry. Major tax revenue, job creation site, and renewed push to legalize marijuana in North Carolina. Get ready for this. Ready? After 8 decades of what NC Rep. Jordan Lopez, Democrat, has called a wasteful and destructive failure, he filed a bill on Monday to end the state's prohibition of cannabis. House Bill 413, titled the Marijuana Legalization and Reinvestment Act, lays the groundwork for the state's joint of dozens other legalizing the use and the sales of cannabis, including a system to regulate it and tax it. Shrooms and THC from the mall kiosk ignites controversy. You'll never guess what state. I'll give you one, not Illinois. So now you got 49 other states to guess from. Just one state. Think of one state. You'll never guess.
Utah.
Close, but no cigar. A Wisconsin mall kiosk selling THC and hallucinogenic mushrooms products have sparked controversy. While the products are legal under the 2018 Farm Bill, concerns have been raised about the proximity to children and the potential safety risk, particularly with products like some kind of mushroom. The dispensary owner emphasizes strict product testing, but local officials are questioning the kiosk's impact on public safety. The debate highlights tensions between legal access and concerns about consumers' misuse.
Are psilocybin mushrooms legal in Wisconsin?
I don't think so.
That's interesting. And they don't just automatically. And how did he get the license to do it, or she, or whoever it is? Right?
I have no idea.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Just put up a kiosk anywhere you go.
Yeah, right. Get to work.
Women.
Yeah.
Going to rule the world one day. I say it all the time, right? Mm-hmm. Why women are the power players in cannabis as consumers and entrepreneurs. Before you start, though, I don't want to take your mo, but I do want to talk about this real quick. Just real quick. I have to have my say. I work in the industry. I've worked in the industry a very long time. And about 70% of the folks I deal with in this industry are women. And I'll say this once and I'll say it again. They have their shit together. They're power players. They know what they're doing. They're extremely well versed in this industry. They kick ass and take names. And I can name 40 women who I work with in this industry that are fucking amazing. Mm-hmm. Besides you, Mrs. Weedman. But there are some amazing women dispensary managers, dispensary buyers, sales, bud tenders. There's so much I can name. Owners. Just there's so many different parts of this industry, and I hear sometimes some women downplay themselves because it's a man's business still in the higher level. But let me tell you something. I've watched this industry over the last 5 years, and you women are fucking kicking ass and don't stop. It's amazing. You're too good at what you all do, and I've been in sales a very long time. I'm 52. I've been in sales almost my whole entire life, and it's refreshing to work with people that answer emails on time, respect your time on a call. Don't miss a meeting. Do so much for this industry to make it run more smooth. The accounting for women, working with women, amazing. Compared to working with a man in the accounting side of things. Sorry, guys, I'm not that good either. I'll even put it on me too. There's women out there that blow me away in the sales aspect of this world, and I will tell you what, it's refreshing though, for me to be in this industry and be able to work with a lot of strong powerhouse women like this article says. So keep at it. Mrs. Weedman, go ahead.
Yep. A report released by the National Institute on Drug Abuse in 2024 confirmed what many business owners already know. Women consumers play a huge role in the cannabis industry's prosperity. According to NIDA data, women aged 19 to 30 consume more marijuana than men of the same age. What's more, monitoring the future, a survey of substance use behaviors conducted annually since 1975 by the University of Michigan's Institute for Social Research, discovered more than 1 in 3 women in the United States now partakes. Combine those data points with Reuters' revelation that women spend more than men per dispensary transaction, and Jointly's disclosure that females compose 55% of those who use its product rating app, and it should be no surprise manufacturers and retailers are rushing to offer products that target women. But while more women are partaking and outspending their male counterparts, the business environment tells a different story. A 2023 report found women make up only 39% of executive leadership in the industry. The playing field clearly is not level. Nevertheless, female leaders play pivotal roles that have been and will continue to be crucial for the industry's growth. Our conversations with women company founders highlighted why members of the fairer sex make successful leaders. Common themes among the executives we spoke with include intentionality, ability to pivot based on feedback, humility, and cultivating a positive, empowering work environment. Women in cannabis are smart, focused, and no success comes from building a strong team and sticking to a solid mission while reaching outside themselves to support the greater good. The industry doles out immense challenges for all players and erects even more barriers for women and minorities. But the women on these pages have mastered the art of turning challenges into opportunities to grow their brands. They are adaptable, empathetic, and dedicated to their visions, and their products resonate with their target audiences to achieve the brand founders' visions. First, we have Halo, brand from Ohio. Lo Friesen is the founder, chief executive officer, and chief extractor at Halo. The company faced plenty of growing pains and financial strain as she built her product brand, but Halo had the advantage of splitting revenue streams between retailing products and selling the company's oil to other companies in the state, freeing up space for Friesen to focus on organic brand building. This allowed us to make sure we were really telling our story in the right way and really making our customers happy, she said. In an industry with high turnover rates and limited access to funding, Friesen recognizes the importance of cultivating a supportive, sustainable corporate culture that encourages long-term employment. We are vigilant about our culture, our values, and making sure the team feels aligned and able to contribute, she said. If they are growing and developing, the business is too, and vice versa. Friesen's investments in people set Halo apart, Customers are loyal to the brand, not only because they perceive consistent quality in the company's vapes and topicals, but also because Halo maintains a deep connection to the communities it serves. And then we have Calla Lily from California. Having debuted in 2024, founder and CEO Liz Rodrigo launched the brand because she didn't see herself and women in general represented in the market. We saw an opportunity for a brand that would meet female consumers where they are in their lives, speak their language, and attract them with packaging and messaging that allowed them to confidently explore cannabis and integrate it as an ingredient in their lifestyle, Rodrigo said. But women-owned brands seem particularly susceptible to short life cycles, Rodrigo suggested. She overcame challenges by investing in relationship building and not buying into concerns about market oversaturation. When you walk down the wine aisle in a traditional store, there are hundreds of labels that you have to choose from, she said, emphasizing her belief that too much choice is not a critical issue. The more people see me in different places, the more they're going to realize this isn't a brand that's falling by the wayside. Smart. Hudson Cannabis from New York. Melanie and Freya Dobson launched Hudson Cannabis, I said that kind of fancy, Cannabis, in 2022, following years of operating a New York hemp farm. The sisters are following in their father's footsteps with a twist. Where he processed salad greens and delivered them to restaurants, they process weed and deliver it to dispensaries. The company, which incorporates their brother Ben as a board member, is deeply rooted in family and love for the plant. There's something that happens when you're not corporate, Freya Dobson said. For the Dobson family and the team they've built, the company centers around its why. How we treat the earth is a reflection of how we treat each other, Freya said of their mission. I like to think of that as a foundation for our company culture. While it's difficult to command respect as a woman in a male-dominated industry, their CEO, Melanie, is a fierce leader who came in with a vision from day one. Then we have Mama Sue Wellness from California. Sue Taylor's passion for wellness and the cannabis industry is undeniable. After all, she's still actively managing and scaling up her business, Mama Sue Wellness, in her late 70s. Last year, she made history as the first Black woman to own and operate a dispensary in Berkeley, California. I haven't retired because I love what I do, she said. Mama Sue products are aiming at helping seniors escape what she calls the tyranny of pharmaceuticals. A savvy businesswoman, Taylor leaned into her appointment as a member of the California Commission on Aging to get through closed doors in order to speak with Berkeley City Council members about cannabis. Since launching her popular wellness brand, she has remained steadfast about her commitment to bettering the lives of the consumers who use her products. She's equally devoted to the team she leads. I always ask my people, do you love what you're doing? Taylor said, because if you're not doing what you love, you're missing the ball. And we have Wana from California. Rachel Zinn launched Wana in 2022, knowing the direction she wanted to see the industry move in. The future of cannabis is going to be female, she said. Women-focused and centered on effects, her company's products lend themselves to intentionality. Wana's products integrate cannabinoids, adaptogens, and influences from Chinese medicine to create holistic effects, and that careful formulation draws in discerning consumers.
It's spelled Juana, not Wana, the gummy brand, Wana.
Yes,
So.
yes. Mirroring the deliberate choices she has made in product development and marketing, Zinn leads her team with intention too. I'm not a leader who's trying to micromanage people, she said. I respect them, build trust, and coach and mentor them when they need it. And we have Garden Society, also from California, New Jersey, and Ohio. As founder and CEO of Garden Society, Erin Gore knows all about hiring the right people to do the right things. She focuses on interpersonal skills and personality over resume specifics because she's learned what her company needs. We have an incredible group of people who support us because of the company we're building, and transparency we bring, and the values we have, she said. At the end of the day, we remember that we have the privilege to be a cannabis company making products that help people feel better. We're on the cutting edge of doing something incredible for the community and industry. Brelixi, also from California and Illinois, Iowa, Minnesota, New Jersey, New York, Oregon, and
Hey, you said it right.
I did.
Yay!
And Pennsylvania. Brianna Neff launched Brelixi in 2023, well before the infused beverage trend gained steam. Since then, the brand's rapid onset THC and CBD drink mixes have become a popular choice across multiple markets. To overcome the industry's lack of access to small business loans and other financial assistance, Neff employed her background in food science to structure her company with a lean operating model that allows not only for management ease but also scalability. Similarly, she developed cost-effective manufacturing and marketing strategies to promote growth while remaining compliant with regulations. Neff credits much of her success to the team of advisors that came together shortly after she launched the business. She also relies on customer feedback to drive decisions, noting the small size of the business allows the team to adapt and implement changes quickly. And then there's Collexium in Michigan, a female touch to a female plant. After beginning as a cultivation and processing operation, the brand opened its first dispensary in 2024. CEO Rebecca Collette has witnessed rapid shifts in the market. After watching colleagues close their businesses or be swept up in consolidations, Collette puts a lot of emphasis on curated, intentional product offerings. Now leading a team of more than 24 people, Collette invests in her employees in pursuit of a larger vision. I'm trying to walk it like I talk it, she said. We're 95% women and minorities. We are showing that it can be done. And there's one last one. Gal Pal Minis from Illinois. As the name suggests, Gal Pal Minis were created with women in mind. The miniature pre-rolls packed in tins resulted from Sarah O'Leary's wish to bring women together. She said, I wanted women to be together, gal pals. I wanted to give women permission to have fun with cannabis. Having fun and building meaningful relationships is integral to the brand's personality. People created the brand, she said. I had a hand in it, but it was all the insights fabulous women gave me that made the brand what it is. Education is key, she said. Revealing, she regularly informs businesses about how offering product choices that appeal to female consumers represents an enormous opportunity for revenue growth. According to O'Leary, men tend to shop for themselves, whereas women more commonly purchase products for themselves and others in their lives. She said her secrets for success are humility, respect, and hiring the right people to do the right things for you.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. It is, well, it was, I think, last weekend, like International Women's
March
Day.
8th.
Yeah.
I think it was, right?
Yeah. Right about
Would
that.
you used to say with O-Dog all the time?
Girls rule and boys drool.
There it is.
Yeah. And then we'd pound fists and go, psh. We would do that with all the nieces.
International news. Poland and cannabis. Poland has strict cannabis laws with recreational use illegal, but medical cannabis was legalized in 2018. The country's medical market is growing through it faces challenges like reliance on imports and high costs for patients. Support for cannabis reform is growing, but the ruling party opposes change. With over 2.3 million cannabis users in Poland, there is potential for further growth in the cannabis sector. Go Poland. Polish power. Ivan Putski was one of my favorite wrestlers. I always used to say Polish power.
Polish power.
Yep. Bahamas Licensing Authority chairman issuing of medical cannabis licenses. The chairman of the licensing authority in the Bahamas has announced the issuance of medical cannabis licenses will begin July 1st. Hell yeah, go for it, Bahamas. Here's a killer. HHC, a cannabinoid classified as a Schedule II by the Commission of Narcotic Drugs and Drug Enforcement. The UN Commission of Narcotic Drugs has classified HHC as a Schedule II substance under the 1971 Convention of Psychotropic Substances. This decision, supported by most countries, restricts HHC to scientific and medical use, eventually banning its recreational use worldwide. The inclusion of HHC as a Schedule II, which means the production and distribution will require prescriptions and licensing. The decision follows concerns about HHC's presence in impaired drivers and increasing use of THC alternative. Switzerland's marijuana legalization pilot program is running smoothly with no indication of public disturbances, government report finds. Switzerland's marijuana legalization pilot program, operating in 7 municipalities, have been deemed successful with no public disturbances. A government report found that cannabis disruption by both for-profit and non-profit entities has progressed smoothly. The study highlighted that for profit businesses promoted heavier consumption, while non-profit emphasized health and youth protection. This pilot has provided valuable data for future cannabis regulations as countries moves towards broader legalization, with legalization discussions continuing. Shock move as the Department of Health quality bans cannabis edibles. South Africa has poised as a major player in the international cannabis industry is now doing this. South Africa's Department of Health has quietly banned the production and sale of cannabis and hemp-derived edibles. This move contradicts previous supports for the hemp industry and has caused confusion within the cannabis sector. Industry experts and activists are concerned about the negative economic impact, with some suggestions that decision undermines the country's emerging cannabis market. The ban, which includes hemp seed oils, has left producers and consumers frustrated with seed clarification and potential legal challenges. Health Canada eases cannabis industry's burden regulations update. Health Canada has updated cannabis regulations to ease industry burdens, focused on areas like licensing, packaging, production, and record keeping. Changes include increased production limits of micro-cultivators and processors, allowing more flexibility in packaging and labeling, permitting QR codes and peel-back labels. These updates are expected to save businesses significant compliance administration costs while maintaining public health and safety standards. You want to know what now is becoming the top seller in Canada? Pre-rolls. No one listens to Mr. Weedman. Pre-rolls close on top cannabis sales spot in Canada. Pre-roll cannabis products in Canada are closing in on becoming the top-selling category, with sales continuing to rise despite drop in overall cannabis revenue. Pre-rolls have seen growth due to consumer preference for convenience, especially in the summer months. Companies are investing heavily in pre-roll products, which now often include infused joints and multi-packs. However, flower still remains the leader in sales, and pre-roll preferences vary by province. I've been saying it for how many years?
They're just such an easy go-to.
It's a grab-and-go item.
It's a grab-and-go.
Like you go to the grocery store.
Convenience.
I use this line to everybody.
Right.
When I'm talking to a dispensary buyer or an owner, and you want to increase profit and sales, go to the grocery store, okay? What do you think is the most money being made at the grocery store? Like,
Checkout.
oh, this. I'm like, no. You know that line you walk through the checkout? There's candy bars, magazines, mints, gum. It's 150 to 250% markup.
Why do you think every store has, like, now they make you zigzag through, and there's all sorts of merchandise now. It used to be just like at the cash register at the grocery store. Now you go to like a department
Those
store.
little shitty ass toys, the Pokemon toys with the candy that every kid wants and shit. Like,
But
there's
while
all
you're
that.
standing in line for 5 minutes,
150% to 250% markup.
something always ends up in your cart.
Yes.
Always.
Just like, it's just crazy. So, pre-rolls. Listen to Mr. Weedman when he talks. I know a little thing or two a tree. Been around the block 2-3 times, right, Ms. Weedman?
Just a few.
Dutch government presses ahead with cannabis experiment despite strong opposition. The Dutch government is moving forward with its cannabis experiment despite strong opposition from local municipalities and law enforcement. The initiative aimed at regulating cannabis production and distribution faces resistance due to concerns about public safety and increases crime. However, proponents argue that it will allow for better control and regulations of the market. The trial set to start in several cities could pave a way for broader cannabis legalization in the country. Tax benefit of recreational cannabis now placed at $700 million annually as Green Renew pledge to push legal cannabis. The Australian Greens have launched a fully costed proposal to legalize cannabis, aiming to generate significant revenue through taxation. Their plan includes creating a regulated cannabis market, promoting healthy and safety measures, and redirecting police resources to combat more serious crimes. Yay, good for you. The policy also emphasizes public education on cannabis. The Greens argue that legalization could reduce the black market and provide benefits to the economy and public health. That was Yuki, everybody. To the economy and public health. Good for you, Australia. Do it. Do it. Do it for my friend Tez and Reefer Terps down there. Do it for my homies. My homies. Home team. I will one day smoke a joint with our friend Tez and Reefer Terps. I will. And anybody in Australia that listens to us. But Tez reaches out to us, so he's my homie. Oh, it went out.
Oh, no, I'll light it for you.
I never got a chance to smoke. Well,
I'll light it for you.
I'll light it because you're about to go.
Okay. Oh, my lords.
I need a lighter.
I'm baked.
I need a lighter.
That's some good weed.
Yeah, Mac 1.
Nice.
Mac me out.
Nice.
Mac this out.
All right,
So,
am I moving on to this next
before
funny
you
one?
go, before you go on,
Yeah.
this was a show I watched in the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Huh! Hey, Willie! That was his line. He used to make me laugh all the time he did it. You're a funny guy, Willie!
Who is Willie?
Willie's the family dad that adopted
Willie.
Alf, the infamous cat eating alien caught sipping marijuana tea on screen.
Yes.
Tell us about Mrs Weedman. As I light
Yeah.
my doink.
As we talk about aliens again, because the Demi Moore movie was kind of alien-esque at the end.
No, it was
It
not.
did. It was like weird.
There was not an alien thing in it.
It was kind.
There
She
was
looked like
somebody
an
shooting
alien.
up shit that fucked up and got greedy.
She
and
was a clone alien.
she
was
there
a-
was no alien in it at all.
It
None
went
at
really.
all.
Yes.
It was not.
She was a monster at the end. She was an alien.
Okay.
All right. Well, this is about Alf, right? In the 1980s, stories featuring aliens burst into the homes of families around the world, becoming pop culture classics. First came the 1982 film E.T., which conquered the hearts of an entire generation and established an infallible equation that later gave rise to Alf, a series in which charismatic and friendly Martians arrive by chance on planet Earth and are adopted by American families. Far Away was the premise of James Cameron's 1986 film Alien, which predicted an apocalypse at the hands of these creatures. The origins of Alf, the cat-eating alien. In 1984, puppeteer Paul Fusco gave life to Alf, a charismatic character intended to annoy his friends and family. However, he became so attached to it that the idea of creating a program centered on this Martian, and it began to obsess him. Together with Tom Patchett, writer of The Muppets, they developed the whole concept of Alf. The first season was not as successful as expected in the United States, but quickly took off in Spain, Germany, and much of Latin America, becoming a pop culture classic of the decade. Alf, aka Alien Life Form, tells the story of an alien named Gordon Shumway, who had to escape from his planet because it exploded after all of its inhabitants plugged in their hair dryers at the same time. I had no idea. This is how this Martian was lost in the cosmos for a year until he managed to reach Earth by crashing onto the roof of the Tanner family's garage. Alf was adopted by the members of his family, except for Lucky, the Tanner's cat, that was constantly stalked by the Martian feline food lover. The series was broadcasted from 1986 to 1990 and had 4 seasons and 102 episodes. In the movie Project Alf, filmed in 1996, the alien is captured by the U.S. government and held at a military base. Despite this, he develops an affectionate bond with the guards in charge of his custody. In an amusing scene in the Spanish dub version of the film, a guard goes over Alf's busy schedule for the next day. He gives 3 options for 4:30 p.m. a cup of tea, a massage, or electroshock. At that point, the alien says he doesn't enjoy electric shock therapy and instantly surprises with the unexpected choice of cannabis tea. Alf defines the 4:20 drink as his favorite time of the day and asks to cancel all other scheduled activities. Good for you, Alf, you stoner.
Hey, Willie.
Hey, Willie. Now I want to watch it.
Now you gotta watch it.
Yeah,
See,
yeah.
See,
I wanna
it's
see
good.
it.
It's a good show.
Yeah.
It's been a while. Been a long time. You probably can find it on like that Me channel or something. I like those. No, I like them. They remind me of Black and Mild. Like the wood tips from a black or
Yeah.
I like it. I used to smoke a good
Yeah, I
Black
like
and
the
Mild.
tip.
So, but those are good. Those
Burns
are good.
nice.
Yeah, Relo Wraps. Thank you so much. Good luck to you and your business with you and your wife, Chris. And I hope you guys kill it out there and go support local family-owned businesses. And I'd like to thank Arise for throwing us the Mac 1 and getting me 2 Stony Bologna. I almost failed on the show tonight. No, I'm just kidding.
Gushta.
I was pretty high there for a second though. Woo-hoo, phew,
Oh, yeah.
whoo. My eyeglasses went up and down like this a couple times.
That's what you thought.
Yeah, I kept on thinking because we were playing music before we started the show when I was getting the studio set up, and I kept on I was listening to music. So while we were recording and you were talking, I kept on hearing the music in my in my ear. I'm like, is
Were you
music
confused?
playing? Yeah, I was for a second there. I was lost in the sauce.
No.
You got anything else to say, Mrs. Weedman?
What's coming up? What's coming up? No, I think we talked about everything.
Yeah, we talked about everything.
Yeah, everybody just have a great week.
We'll see everybody at Flower Expo on the 25th.
Yeah.
Right?
Today is St. Joseph's Day, I think.
It is.
And we had St. Patrick's Day the other day. A bunch of saints
Yeah.
bopping around in March.
Yeah. It hailed today.
Doing things.
Looked like
It hailed.
It did.
It tornadoed.
It went from light to dark in a matter of 30 seconds. Like
Twice
pitch
today.
black. It went from like
we were,
sun was out and then it looked like it was midnight out at 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
That's how that storm was.
It happened
was crazy.
around like 1, too.
It was crazy. Crazy. It was crazy weather here in Illinois and across like the Midwest today.
But it was just very dramatic. Nothing really happened.
Just a lot of hail.
A lot of hail.
The ground was covered. It looked like snow.
Yeah.
That's how much it was covered. Like, I mean, it was crazy. Good thing they weren't golf ball sizes. That would suck. So, that it, Ms. Weedman?
That's it.
Hey, everybody out there, we love you. Thank you for listening to the show. We really appreciate it. As Paulie always says, smoke smart. Puff, puff, and away.
Puff, puff, pass.
Check out our cannabis lifestyle brand online at 8decades.com. Our custom smokes and accessories are perfect for your coffee table, bedroom nightstand, or kitchen counter. They're designed for you to show them off. The Canna community is also loving our hemp and cotton blend t-shirts, sweatshirts, scarves, and hats, finished off with our 8 Decades logo. We've got some awesome long-lasting goods that will be your favorite for years to come. 8 Decades, because a 9th decade of cannabis prohibition isn't acceptable.